welcome back. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation, along with.
CJ Lou from the Fired Up with CJ show. Woohoo!
If you've ever wanted to dream big, achieve those dreams, or at least find happiness along the way, then do we have the Breaking the Rules Power of Intention show for you. Today we'll talk about how to bring about what you think about and why breaking the rules can be a powerful tool for setting you free. That plus we'll talk about the power of patron, of fire in the belly, finding your voice, slowing down, guest house, 5 o'clock routine, going back to basics, getting back to the gym, Nike and Merrill, wow, MP3 players and music, skates, where are the skates, and what in the world a pair of red glasses has to do with anything. Not that funny this time, huh? So welcome back to the show, CJ. There we go.
Well, I was trying to figure out. I am ready to shine. Well, I was trying to figure out, okay, Michael wears yellow glasses, but he must have been looking for a pair of red glasses.
Well, kind of the reverse. I love my yellow glasses. And this is show, I wanted it to be a power of intentions. Jessica, producer, she suggested it has to be about breaking the rules. Michael, you've been breaking the rules a lot lately. And so I wanted to do rules. I'm going to have you scoot back to your right just a little bit. Yep, there you go. As for breaking the rules go. And so I've got the glasses that I tend to wear, kind of my cornerstone. They're what I'm known for at this point. It wasn't a deliberate attempt, but they're fun. They're no longer sold by the eyeglass company that I use or any others that I can find around.
The ones that you wear now.
The ones that I wear now. And my prescription changed. And so I've been running around with blurry glasses for quite a while going, I don't know how to rectify this situation easily.
You can't just reuse the frames?
It wasn't quite as simple as that. But what we ended up doing is we got me a backup pair in the new prescription. For those who can't see, she is laughing at me being in red glasses.
I'm not sure if I'm used to them yet.
I'm not, but
the shape is different. It's not only the color, it's the shape.
Yeah, and I found a pair in red in the shape that I have that will be in stock in a couple weeks. But now I've sent all of my glasses out because I have a whole alchemy. I wear a bunch of glasses. I don't just wear one pair. I wear a pair on the computer, a pair for reading, a pair for driving, so that I'm always using the weakest prescription that I can for any job so that my eyes stay strong. And so I had a whole armada, 5 pairs of glasses to send in.
Wow.
So I figured out how to do that, how to get them all switched out, do it cost effectively, got in a red pair of glasses, which was in the new prescription, so that allows me to see for a little bit while those are transferred over. And Jessica's like, okay, you're wearing red, but how does it feel? You broke the rules to be able to see again for a while. How does it feel so that you can see? And I said, wow, I can see the dirt in the bathroom that I missed. Yes. I've been well domesticated, CJ.
I think that's a fantastic thing. I'm sure Jessica's very happy about that.
Yes, she is. So that was my red glasses and what they have to do with anything. So, but it's
so
fun.
Wait, how is it breaking the rules? Is because why is red breaking the rules?
I love my yellow glasses.
Oh.
And so a lot of what we're talking about when breaking the rules is rules that we set with ourselves.
Oh.
I am a vegan, a vegetarian, a paleo, a exercise-aholic. I'm a late night person. I'm an early morning person. Whatever it is, we have these rule sets that kind of keep us in the box. And a lot of times what it takes to get to the next, I don't know another term, level in life, to move more towards where you want to be, it takes getting out of your own paradigm. And that can mean breaking the rules. So that was one of them. Another one of the ones was I was known for many years as the barefoot runner. We wrote a bestseller, Barefoot Running.
Right.
And we went out for Jessica's birthday this past weekend, and Beautiful area that we are in, but it seems to shut down for the winter months. To get to anything fun, and the closest thing we could find for fun, all the all the birthday stuff was closed around here, was to go shopping. So we went to outlet stores that were a good 2 hours away from here.
Wow.
And yeah, it wasn't close. And I actually went into, as the former barefoot running guy, and I don't hold that label or any label at this point. I went into the Nike and Merrell stores. And Nike was never the big barefoot company, though they did have
They do have
Nike.
some barefoot stuff in there.
Well, but I think barefoot and shoe is not synonymous. So I
Right.
differ with that whole industry. I thought that was a
Oh.
stealing of a word. To
Oh,
call a
say.
barefoot shoe is like saying, "Would you like me to take your naked jacket for you?"
Right. So they call them zero drop though, don't they?
Well, zero drop is a great term, and Nike, I don't believe, I could be wrong, doesn't make a zero drop shoe. Zero drop means that the heel and the front of the shoe are at the same height, so that you're not wearing a high heeled shoe when you run,
Right.
which does save your calves, Achilles, hamstring, back, and more, shoulders and neck. The flatter that you get, the better. But Nike, I don't believe, does that with their free. And Merrell, our company, since we began, was Run Bear. And Merrill, after we released our book, came out with a whole Run Bear line of shoes.
Did you TM Rum Bear?
We were the only ones using it, and we
Oh.
hadn't TM'd it. So, but it's usually who uses it first, who you're going to go up against. Merrill. We send them all our love at this point, but I wouldn't go there for a while
Right.
for obvious reasons.
Right.
And yet I've dropped all the isms. I've dropped the um, I need to this, I need to that, I can't shop there, I wouldn't go there. All of these lettings go, I think, have allowed some really cool stuff to come up. The other one is I love dressing in bright clothes,
Mm-hmm.
and being the light wherever I go. Not so much tacky, but just bright. Give me a bright yellow. Give me my reds and my blues. I'm good to go. Well, in Merrill, they had and this Merrill store is actually going out of business, so they had everything like 80% off,
Nice.
and they had this awesome um, bluish green algae colored winter jacket that
Blue or green algae colored is not the most
it didn't look
attractive.
that exciting to me, but it felt awesome.
Yeah.
It felt really, really good.
Yeah.
And here's a fractionally priced jacket that's really comfortable, feels really good, is going to do the job that I need it to do. And so I didn't buy, I'm not an impulse shopper. So
Oh,
I
you're
tried it on. I liked it. I said, "Can you hold it for an hour?"
right.
I went someplace else. I grounded. I got centered. I thought about it. And I said, "I still don't know." Because I had told Jessica, "Don't let me get it. It's not bright."
Right.
So I went in, I tried it on one more time. And then I said, "I'll be back." And we went about our way, and we got some food later on. And I said, "Yeah, I'm going to violate my bright rule. I'm going to
Yay.
go get this jacket." And, for what it is, it's perfect. But I had to address the silly neurosis of these boxes. We put
Mm.
ourselves in our minds, and we box ourselves in. And if we don't allow ourselves to get out of that box, and we're talking about intention as well, we don't allow for the or something better in the universe to
I
come
don't know
up.
if you would be able to live in Seattle here because the color palette here is all like green, moss green, like a tree green and like a evergreen tree green and blue and gray and brown and maybe
No
tan.
wonder. I think that's where Merrill is based, and that would explain their color palette
Yeah.
and that green. It looks almost bluish in daylight, then it gets almost towards black at
Yeah,
night.
that's exact. Those are the colors of the Northwest. I mean, when you
Uh,
start heading down south to California, you get pastels and you get vivid, bright colors. But around Seattle, you really don't get bright colors. Maybe a red
mhm.
and maybe that blue color that you have on. If you go to like maybe a running, like if I'm going for an athletic wear, I could get a color that you're wearing, but. I had to go to a store, a special store that has bright colors because they don't have bright, it's not the color palette of Seattle. So thank goodness you're over in North Carolina where it's sunny all the time because in Seattle, it seems off that you're wearing a bright color when it's dreary and gray outside.
I think that's when you need it twice as much.
I know, but
You know,
in fact, I just sent you an email about the sad thing because I was thinking I was looking online and they have little sad light based
seasonal effectiveness
affective
disorder
disorder.
lamps.
Not that I have sad, but I thought it probably doesn't hurt to actually. I was listening to someone and they said that they have their lamp on during the winter and that it's really helped a lot in terms of their energy level.
Oh yeah, I used it all through last winter,
Yeah.
and we were up just outside of New York City in northern New Jersey,
Hmm.
and I would use it a good 20 minutes in the morning, and then a couple more times throughout the afternoon. Without it, by the time the sun went down, I went down. I was done for the day.
Right.
Using the lamp, it allowed my body's hormones to be adjusted to daylight conditions, and I'd be all right till I could time my light usage so that I'd be good till 8 or 9 o'clock or whenever
So how
I
many? So
wanted to
it
go
does
down.
it works that you have to do a certain number of minutes? Is that right?
It's like getting a dose. It's like taking a vitamin or something.
Hmm.
And the dose, the amount of lumens or however much you take, and I'm not the scientist to know how to describe the verbiage behind it,
Hmm.
but they say maybe 10 to 20 minutes in the morning,
Yeah.
and then you maybe need to top off in the afternoon as well.
Yeah, and that's it. Because I actually
That's it.
bought a reading lamp that I guess you could just read next, like it's a lamp.
Is it a full spectrum designed for?
It's yeah, it's whatever the one is. It's there's
Cool.
I don't know. I was thinking I have it on my Christmas list for Gideon to think about buying, but I thought I wonder if I would like this. But I'm not sad, but then I think it probably even if you don't have that, it's got to help someone get more energy because I've been noticing that my eating habits change during this time of the year as to I'm not walking as much outside, so I've looked at my steps like on a typical day in Seattle during the summer or spring I do 14,000 steps, and lately it's been like 8,000, like literally almost cut in half. So I feel like I need to like I don't know. I need to walk more or I need to go outside more because you just don't feel like going outside because you're just kind of cuddly inside in a blanket, that kind of thing. So
The
I'm
name
thinking it would help.
SAD, it's a bit of a misnomer. The name SAD's a bit of a misnomer in that you think that you just have to be depressed or something like that. Um, but it's also that your energy levels go down and things shift, just like you're talking about. Your metabolism shifts, your
Yes.
desires shift. You're just in the let me hibernate mode a
Yeah.
little bit more than you want.
And eat like, and my diet has actually gotten bad because I'm like, oh, I just want to eat
It's supposed
comfort
to.
foods. Like, I want to eat like, you know, pasta, stuff like where I'm like, I wouldn't have been eating that during summer, but now I'm like, I just want to eat cornbread and just stuff that's not really good for me. But I kind of want it anyways. But I think it's because of the kind of hibernating effect that's happening.
We watched the little raccoons that we've been taking care of here, and they've been eating and going up in trees and finding nuts and stuff like food is going out of style. And it's
Mm,
not going to snow and cover over here most likely in North Carolina, northern North Carolina. But this is the time of year where, as the sun is less available, that you pack on everything that you can because in the old days, if it had been a harsh winter, whether you survive or not is going to depend on how much you eat now.
right. So but I don't need that. It's not helpful.
Very few of us do now,
I know.
CJ.
So it's like, I don't think I need to pack on a bunch of weight because I'm not going to starve this winter. So, but I totally get that. So is that what your fire in the belly is, or is it different?
I showed up. Universe is a trickster. And I showed up for the first time at this trailhead a couple weeks ago here. It's a 1.39 mile trail. And I actually put the 100th in there because they advertise it at that because there's just so few trails around here. It's one of the weird quirks about the area. Lots of nature, little access.
Hmm.
And so we go to this trail, and I haven't been running that much. I've been paddling a bunch. I was swimming a bunch through the summer, riding a bunch, but I've kind of, my fire went down when the main run to do was run up and down the beach, run up and down the beach. It's
Right.
beautiful. It's amazing, but it's actually really fatiguing. Beach
Mm-hmm.
running is, is it doesn't have that
Super
flow
tiring.
state
And plus, it's
to
kind of
it.
an unbalanced, you've got the
Go out
unbalanced
one
seeing
way,
thing. Yeah.
cockeyed. Yep.
Yeah.
So I show up at this trail. We're going to go for just a little hike, and it turns out there's a like a sign up table set up and some other stuff set up, and they're actually setting up for an ultra marathon, and they're going to do a 100 mile, actually a 24-hour race around this 1.4 mile loop,
Wait, what? A
and
24-mile race around a
24
1.4.
hours
Okay.
of run, 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 run. How many miles, how many loops can you get in 24 hours? And I haven't done a race in a while. I haven't been around a race in a while. I was a professional athlete, probably for more
Huh.
years than I've not
Excuse
been.
me. Mm-hmm.
And getting me to that race triggered grrr.
So you're going to see how many times you can run around this 1 mile track
Well,
in
I'm not
24
personally.
hours.
No, no, they did.
Okay.
They ran. I'm guessing the winner last year did I think 140 miles, so
Wow.
100 laps.
Wow.
So, but it just triggered in me a desire to really get my body going again.
Got it. Okay,
And
got it.
and I'm so happy about that. It was a very interesting feeling in the belly to go to a race when you're not racing, and you don't feel you're in the shape that you would like to be in. Um, I went into the gym the next morning, and I didn't mean this in an angry sort of way, but I told the people in the gym, I'm like, that pissed me off. And what I meant by that is it got me going.
Right.
It flipped some on switches again. And so even though the season is winding down, we are, which is good for Jessica. She really needed it. We are back in the gym now. I'm building up my mileage. I've been doing hill repeats on my bicycle over the one quote hill in the area, which is a bridge, which is perfect. Up and over, up and over, and up and over. I got the fire back. I don't know for
Nice.
what. I will do something next year, but I was so happy to get that fire in the belly. That will carry me through the winter. And I will probably set some specific goals as well. When we're talking about intention,
Right.
it helps to have some things like that. One of the weird other things it did is um, I've skated just about since I could walk, I could ice skate or skate. And I was a speed skater in college, went to the Olympic Training Center briefly for speed skating, was sponsored by Rollerblade as an inline skater. And ever since my accident in 2004, I haven't laced up skates. And
Wow.
I
Wow.
had said never for life will I do it again. And I sold all these beautiful skates from Rollerblade that I didn't even have the opportunity to put on yet.
Mm.
And I've been getting a niggling. And around here it is so quiet this time of year. Tourist place, it's beautiful, wide bike lanes,
Mm.
nobody anywhere. And I'm like,
Mm.
could I skate the bike path safely? Well, there's nobody on them right now. So what would
Right.
the problem be? Well, you almost never fell except for the accident, which really was a
Yeah,
freak
it's like
thing.
it's little twigs. Those are the things that get you, little rocks or twigs that
So,
if you're going
and
super fast, you don't see. That's the only thing.
yeah, and I'd be my skill level based on, I've got 11 years off, even that I'd be okay. A big rocker stick, that's a different story.
Yeah.
Um, but when I skated in Boulder, for instance, you got the rocks, the twigs, the leaves on the ground, and then in the winter, even the occasional you go under an underpass on a bike path, and that stretch is like crumbly ice under the underpass,
Wow.
and I could still do that on my inline skates and be
Wow.
fine,
Wow.
make it across those patches. So I think that's part of my fire in the belly.
Wow.
I probably will get some skates. That's a whole breaking of the rules. We're
Right.
talking about, and this is a show we'll save for another time, but we are talking about moving back to Colorado next year. And one of the things that I would like to try as a former speed skater who was arguably not the prettiest form, but a stronger skater than a cyclist, I've been told for years, why don't you try skate skiing? And that actually
Hmm.
sounds like fun. And so I'd love to try that after having
So they
gotten my
tiny little
skating sense
skis
back.
that you skate with?
No, it's an Olympic sport. It's cross country skis, but instead of I think they call it alpine. Maybe that term's wrong. Instead of sliding your feet forward and back,
Yeah.
you pushed your feet out to the side
Hmm.
like a speed ski.
Oh, very cool.
And so that's another piece of the fire in the belly of having that long-term goal of skate skiing, and I want to start to get those muscles back.
Oh, very cool. I want to have enough time to talk about Colorado. Okay, the reason why I'm yawning so much is I I was inspired by our conversation a couple weeks ago where we were talking
You're
about,
doing it.
yeah, talk about breaking rules. And so, when the daylight savings time or whatever the fall during the switch of times, a couple weeks last week, was it last week? I figured, well, really, if I wake up at 5 o'clock, it's really 6 o'clock, what used to be 6 o'clock. So that's not so bad. So I'm going to try to do it now. So I woke up at 5 and I was like, wow, this is really early. I thought about 4 and I was like, because one morning I woke up at 4:30. I'm like, no, I just can't. This is too early. And then 4:30, I'm like, no, 4. Then 4:30, I'm like, no, I just have to wake up at 5. This is just too much. But I did it for Monday through Friday, and then I thought I think I need to sleep in on Saturday and Sunday because I didn't do that. I woke up at 7 o'clock,
Mhm.
and then I woke up at 5 yesterday, and I think that that just did me in. So now I'm really tired. So I need some. But I did change my routine, and I wake up and I journal and I meditate. I do two types of meditations. I do a concentration practice, and then I do a Kundalini based meditation,
Yeah.
and then I write for an hour, and it's just been so great. I mean, I've gotten like all my daily vitamins in. It's been great, but I'm so tired right now. Like I don't know. I'm at the point where you're like, oh, maybe I'll sleep in till 6 tomorrow. So, any thoughts about how you went through breaking your patterns and breaking your sleep habits so that you could wake up early? Because see, the thing is, I could go to sleep earlier, but then I'm off sync to everyone in the family, so I'd miss connection time with my son and my husband. So I don't
How
want to do
much
that.
did you do it gradually?
Um, Not at all.
That's so what you have is a gap right now. Basically, you withdrawn extra from the bank
Right.
and that needs to be paid back. Then you'll probably be fine with this schedule. But right now, you've overshot the mark
Okay.
and there's a debt to be paid. And
Okay.
so, if you can, napping would be the
Okay.
ideal way to take care of it.
Okay. You
And
mean
a few days napping to catch up, and you'll probably feel much, much better.
oh, so had I done it gradually, I wouldn't have had the crash and burn. But because,
Bingo.
yeah, so now I have like a sleep deficit. So I need to sleep during the afternoon to be like, okay, now I'm like back to normal. And then I'll be able to sleep do the same pattern because I've been doing it
Bingo.
every morning. My body is waking up at 5 now or 4:30. So,
Yeah, you just
okay.
have to pay the bank back. You have to pay your creditors.
Yeah, okay, got it. And then everything will be back. Then I won't because I just feel like I'm about to die right now.
Yeah,
But
because
I'm really
I'm back now to my 4 o'clock shift,
yeah, and then
and
how's
God,
that?
I feel
And
awesome,
you just did
awesome,
like 15 minutes. You wound down a little bit by a little bit.
very gradually. And so now I'm at 4 o'clock, and we can get to the gym by 6:30 after I've already had 2.5 hours of meditation, journaling, making music, doing all these things. And then by 6:30, I'm chomping at the bit. I'm so awake and raring to go. And so by 7:30, you've gotten all this great stuff done in the day,
Right.
and then you get to start your day.
Yeah.
But the energy hasn't waned because it's that kind, gentle, easy, good baby step my way into it. Because if I do it radically, it's like flying across the country
Yeah, well
and
that's
you're
how I
flipped
feel
upside
right
down
now.
and
Yeah.
backwards.
Yeah, that's how I feel right now. I forgot. I heard everything and you did tell me last week to do it gradually, but then I figured, oh, I have this like time change that's really going to work in my favor because I was already waking sort of up at 6 o'clock. So, but I think it still was just too dramatic. Okay. All right. Well, I have a new thing to try. Um, and then last week we also had guests in our guest house. We had a guest all for a whole week, and then we had a weekend retreat in our house. It was so exciting. Did I tell you that?
No, you said that the guest house was now open. And for people who haven't heard it, if I understand correctly, you tore down your
My
garage.
garage and built a little mini place for people to come. Primarily my son and his families when they get old enough to have kids and visit. But we figured, well, this is our lifetime house. If you came to Seattle, or if you haven't been to Seattle in a while, there's a huge real estate boom because Amazon is growing and pretty much taking over everything and their employees. And so, and we love Amazon. It's just that means that there's limited housing around, and real estate prices have gone up a lot. So, and so has building commensurately. There's a ton of building. So we thought, well, we might as well just invest now in building something that we'd like. It's going to be cheaper now, and we can enjoy it all the way up until, the kids do come of age to come visit versus just waiting later on, and then, it's just going to be cheaper to do it now. So we built a little guest house. So anyway, so yes, people are living in it. It's super exciting. And if you guys ever come out to Seattle, you're welcome to come and stay in our place because it's awesome.
Thank you. We will have to take you up on it.
So I've done the 5 o'clock routine and I'm slowing down. That's the main thing that I've been trying to do. And it's hard. It's really hard to slow down when you've been moving really quickly your whole life. It's very foreign and weird.
It's something Jessica's been working on too. She's been working on a lot of stuff, and I don't want to speak too much for her, but she has, I have this wiring or had it to an extreme. I'm a little better about it now, which is if she's not doing, it feels real uncomfortable. Like, what am I supposed to be doing right now? Why am I not doing it?
hmm It's funny because I got, I, when during one of my journals, it's like, this is just a habit. You have a whole bunch of habits that you're going to have to unwind. And I was writing one morning going, where do these habits come from? And it was funny for me, there's kind of if I were to match, it's very similar to my Asian part, which is kind of Asian. I don't know if this is true with Jessica, but there's a very strong emphasis on doing things fast, doing things well,
Mhm.
and doing a lot of things. It's like productivity equals your value. So if you're not
Yeah, that
productive,
formula would be yes.
yeah, if you're not productive and doing high quality work, then you have no value. And also, what does it matter if you have no value? Well, if you don't have any value, then you're not recognized, you don't exist, you don't have a voice, and you're not loved. You're just like a person non gratis in the Asian society. At least my understanding of my Asian culture. And so the habits are of constantly doing and stacking the deck. So you're constantly producing every single moment of the day. And so it's really hard to slow down. It's a lifetime of habits that I have developed about going fast and being fast and doing the best job that I can while doing it fast and figuring out as many things as I can be doing. And it's just after a while, it's like just burns out your whole system, I think, and you start getting unhealthy, um, which is what hasn't happened to me, but I it happened to me last week when I got super sick. When I was sick for like I was out. Well, you saw me because I could barely talk and I was
Yeah.
coughing. But that's what happens when when you don't re-examine. This is probably less about breaking the rules, but you don't examine the rules in which you're living by, and it's
That you've been
related.
gifted.
Yeah, it's interesting because as you were talking about bright colors, right? Like that is start becoming your identity. It becomes becoming like I am bright colors. That is who I am. And then all of a sudden you're presented with a nice comfy coat and it's like causes like a lot of examination and decision making that, because now I'm no longer my identity, then who am
Hmm.
I? So it you don't have the freedom anymore to choose because you have locked yourself into the bright color guy with the yellow glasses guy who is a skater guy or barefoot running guy, like whatever it is. And I have my equivalent of all those things. I have to be productive, and so if I'm not productive, then I'm in this prison that my mind has built with a whole bunch of like, well, that means I'm of no value. I'm lazy. I'm probably also stupid because if I was smart. And for Asian people, being stupid is like the worst ever. So, so these are just like one insult, lazy, stupid. probably fat, like there's
Oh
just this
no.
like litany of things. And then you're like, oh God, I better just get up and do something. Because if I don't, I'm going to have to be in the prison of all these ideas. Or you can say, wow, look how I've put myself in this prison. Um, can't I wear a moss green, blue green algae coat
And love it
and
because it
love
is
it?
awesome.
Have you been wearing it since you got home?
Absolutely, absolutely. And the day after I got it was this cold front pushed through, and it was blustery and just above freezing. And I was in this.
Wow.
So yeah, it was 36 degrees. So
Yeah.
and
Well, you've been like in balmy 70s lately. I mean,
yeah,
like a
well,
couple weeks beforehand.
a couple of days before that, I'd done an open water swim,
My God.
and no wetsuit or anything. And here it was, this whoosh, and I've got this nice coat on that's designed for running too. That's what excites me the
Oh, that
most
is
because it's
nice.
really lightweight. The wind's not cutting through it, the cold's not cutting through it, and I'm just like, yes, I am so glad I got this thing. And there's still that
Mm.
niggling part in me because I found out I came home online, was looking up not to find if I could buy it at a better price or anything, but to find out what it was. What is this thing supposed to do? What's the performance? Does
Oh,
it
right.
do? Does
Yeah.
it do this? And found that they had them not that good of a price, but a good price in gold too. And
Oh,
Jessica was like, "God, I would not want you in gold. That's like um,
you mean metallic gold or like yellow gold, like a sunflower gold?
metallic gold,
Oh,
but
no.
not a." And she's going, God, no, just no, Michael. I'm like, but it's bright.
Greek god. Very Greek goddish, though. I
So, but
mean,
more toned down, more like the color of the Prius that we used to have, which she would call like a great grandma, a great grandpa mobile.
right.
Like it's just this flat gold. And she's like, God, no. And I'm like, well, maybe it would have. But it's just funny to watch the wiring, CJ.
Right, where you're like, no, I can't do that. I can't. No, I can't. But what's so interesting is, all right, so if we use the jacket or my like I have to be a productive Asian, like these are all belief systems that then form a sense of what we feel like we are. We identify with these things. Our ego is now fixated on these ideas. And then what's interesting is the thing that you did with your coat, right? You wore the coat and you're like, hey, I actually like the coat. There's a whole bunch of features that are part of this coat and benefits that I get by wearing on this new jacket that I would have not gotten if I just stuck with wearing, a bright jacket. And I think that that's also true if I can slow down. Jessica, let's say the two of us can slow down, that there's probably some other aspect of myself, my identity, that has been laying dormant because I must be going fast. There's parts of me that are, in fact, slower developing or non developing. Like my ability to be slow is an undeveloped aspect of myself.
A
It's like,
latent talent.
well, it's a latent. It's actually I'm consciously incompetent. I was before unconsciously incompetent. Now I'm consciously incompetent with my ability to go slow, and it's really something I'm trying. Like I'm trying really hard. So I even someone I wanted to connect with this woman in LinkedIn, and so I connected with her, and she said, "Oh, so great to hear from you." And I said, "I'd love to get together." And I said, "But how about in January?" Mid-January,
Wow.
because I said because I made a promise to myself to not do anything between now and January, and I don't know if I've broken it so much as like I had the workshop that my voice fell apart in, so I have to go through the second half of the workshop, and one of my clients asked to help teach a workshop in December. But I figure, okay, one workshop a week, that's like enough, money coming in and not gonna kill me kind of scenario. But yeah, I was really proud that I said I can't meet you until the middle of January because I'm on like kind of a retreat where I'm trying not to do anything and literally lean into being slow, and it's really hard. And what's interesting is in my writing class, I had someone evaluate, like I told you I'm part of this writing group, and it's been fabulous. It's really just been so enriching. And the last time um, someone had said, uh, they said, you know what, what I really want you to do is just slow down. And it's like I feel in your writing that you write in this kind of summary, fast clip pace. And I want you to kind of develop the characters. And the character is me because it's a story about me. It's like I want you to develop the characters and flesh them out and tell me all the sensory details and tell me all this stuff and what led and tell me what you were thinking and tell me what led up to all these different things. And I just thought, wow, it's like whatever is your issue comes out from every orifice, right? It's like I have a problem with my habit in life is then showing up in my writing. It's showing up in when I'm working out, like it's showing up everywhere. And it's interesting that I thought it was interesting that it was showing up in my writing.
And it only shows up when you can slow down enough to be present to see it.
Yeah. And it's very funny because I just had this writing group just literally an hour before this show. And uh, this woman said, "Well, why don't she said, I would suggest you take this like mother load of data and break it into a smaller piece."
Mhm.
And like right now it's like this, and she's like, "But like make it like, it's take it from a 1 by 1 inch cube and make it into, like a 12 by 12 inch cube." And I was like, oh, well, I don't know if I have enough. And the thought from my head was like, I don't know if I have enough time to do that because I have all this information pouring out of me and I just want to cathartically let it go. And she's like, yeah, but you know what? If you don't go back and take the 1 inch cube and make it into this larger picture, what happens is that you're missing elements of the writing process and you're missing a key aspect of your voice. That if you don't force yourself to take that little thing and tease it out and slowly marinate in all of it, you're missing an aspect of your voice. And I thought, oh, that's fascinating. Have you ever found that when you're writing, or do you know, can you relate to that?
I've been taking a lot of time with the writing and
Mm.
kind of just let it go. In fact, I really want to be diving into the open-hearted warrior right now. And as I've heard, I'm wading through the AW experience, the automatic writing experience, to get through the editor. And I'm supposed to only do one project on the writing at a time, is what I'm being told. So instead, I keep getting these lessons and learnings and have more conversations with myself. So I'll write an hour or two a day, but just conversations
Hmm.
learning about myself, which is something I never would have done in the past.
Hmm.
So I'm giving myself that time, and it really then becomes a learning about myself through the writing.
I don't understand. So I know that you're dialoguing and writing questions and
Mhm.
answering them, but what is it that you're writing about? That is that what helps you then write the next chapter or?
Well, it will help certainly write Open-Hearted Warrior, but it also helps in writing the next chapter of our lives now. And so things tend to come in waves. Intention and really understanding intention has been a powerful one that's been coming up over the last week. Today it was looking at and leaning into some of my fears and trying to unravel some of the wiring behind it and really digging and pulling at the strings of the wiring and having conversations going, but why does that bother you? And why would that? And just trying to learn and understand through the writing about myself. Every day it's somewhat different. When I go to my computer for automatic writing time, I have no idea at all what's going to come out, and I come
Hmm.
without preconception or
Hmm.
anything. And so it's just a learning about me. My wiring has changed so much, CJ, over the year. I mean, I joke about being or having been a squirrel on crack,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, I was off the wall, bouncing left, right, and center. And now the calmness, the focus, the ability, just Jessica would say, she mentioned this before this, so it's okay to mention. She's like, mention how much more present and caring you've been with me.
Hmm.
And that has come from examining both in the moment and in my writing. How are you doing? A lot of what I get in the writing, almost every morning, as I get, take even better care of Jessica, be even more present with Jessica, pay
Hmm.
attention to her needs. These are things we all hear inside of ourselves, but we're usually going too fast to hear them.
Hmm. Hmm, interesting. So, as a result of going slower, it is some, it's basically helped you understand yourself more deeply and live differently. And you're talking about, because there's the open-hearted warrior. Is that the title of a new
That's the
book?
title of our next book. Yeah.
Oh, so that's why I was
That's about,
confused. That's a new piece of information. So
oh,
you had
we have
the,
another book in the queue
I
that is
didn't realize
banging
that.
on the door to come out. Well,
Oh,
I
I
had
see.
my 2 near death experiences
Right.
a year after my second one, and those radically changed my life. I was having a lot of trouble with integrating.
Hmm.
It's like putting person A in body B. It's really weird. Your whole value system,
Mm-hmm.
everything has shifted.
Mm.
And I was in doer mode to an extreme. I was, we need to get this done, we need to get that done, I need to get this message out, I need to get that message out, which it's not really the point of what the universe is trying to do with NDEs. It's
Mm-hmm.
trying to give you more of the big picture, not the doing this picture.
Mm-hmm.
And I went out for a bike ride while we were just about done wrapping up filming for a project called Mindful Running, Mindfulness and Running. And I came back from this bike ride, and we lived on the side of Haleakala, volcano in Maui. And so it's switchback turns getting down to the house. And one of the last switchback turns, I still don't understand to this day, but the front wheel of the bicycle went into the air in the turn, and down I went, cracking every bone around my heart. I cracked all my ribs in front of my heart. I
Wow.
cracked my collarbone. I cracked my scapula. I cracked the bottom of my scapula. I cracked all the ribs behind my heart. It cracked me open.
Wow.
And it was brutal and painful and um, miraculous. It didn't heal properly. And they thought, uh, whoops, we should have done surgery on you. And I'm like, no, no, I got this one. And then it healed. It was just dumbfounding. It should not be able to be together the way it worked, and it's all beautiful. The
Wow.
X-rays, nobody would touch it now. It's a miracle.
Wow.
But it really, the kindness and compassion, or what I call the open-hearted warrior, is shields down. No more fighting against the world. No more resisting the world. No more pushing against the world. But instead go shields down in a place of love, in a place of compassion, in a place in the strength of the energy that's inside of each one of us, and stepping forward from there, not
Mm.
resisting, not being attached to. And it changed everything.
Mm.
Everything changed. My landscape changed, internal and exterior, everything about my being. So that's what the next book about is, how we can all become the
Mm.
open-hearted warrior without having to be cracked open.
I didn't realize that there was a second book in the queue. So that's why I was not tracking your conversation. I was like, I don't understand what you're talking about, but I get it now. And what this is reminding me of is I had an interview. You probably have talked already. Jillian Pransky from Deep Listening.
I haven't yet.
Oh, you should really talk to her. She's fantastic. It's very interesting. We had an interview scheduled on I don't know, for Thursday, and like we tried like 5 times to connect. I don't know if you've ever had this with a guest, but the mouth wasn't syncing. Her voice was not syncing with her mouth, and mine wasn't. And then it was just we went back and forth with getting asynchronized. And then I'd call again, and then her lawnmower person came. And it was too loud. Then she went into her bathroom. I called again, and she went into her bathroom and closed the door, and I could still hear the lawnmower. And I was like, I think the universe is telling us we have to wait till another day because I don't know what is happening. So we did the interview the next day. But the main point of her book was talking about holding. And there's several different ideas that I liked about the book, but the ones that I took from it the most were this idea of holding. and the being held by the ground and being cradled like you are when you're a baby, cradled in the ground to know that you have someone holding you that's got you, right? And oftentimes our breathing, and I think this has definitely been working my breathing because I have not been breathing properly
Mm.
forever. And it's just starting to like slowly get back to normal. Um, but it's a combination of, she has these yoga meditations that she leads people through to feel the holding, feeling the ground and feeling supported and feeling, and it really harkens back to, there's this book it's called the Enneagram. What is it? Uh, I can't remember. It's an Enneagram book. I don't have it right here, but they talk about that the main reason that people have issues is they don't have the proper holding when they're babies, and so they don't have the grounding, and so
Mhm.
because they don't have that proper holding space, a sense of safety and security with the place that they're in, knowing that they're safe and secure and held by the world, by God, by the universe, by their parents, whatever it is, they feel that insecurity. And as a result, it causes this, their body, like if they're not held by the earth, it means that they have to hold their shoulders up because there's nothing, no foundation behind them, or they have to, do something weird with their back because there's no foundation below them. So just having the proper holding allows you to feel at ease, because then you can open up your body and open up your heart, because when you feel that you're not being held, it's the thing that you talked about. You build up this armor because you have to have like something,
Mhm.
like maybe tight shoulders or an arch back or a crooked, whatever it is, right? These are all the kind of fight or flight. We need it. Otherwise, we'd have nothing to keep, because we don't feel like there's any ground. So, I've been thinking a lot about that, and I do think that it comes with the holding aspect, and then it comes in the sense of safety. And then when you feel safe, then your armor can go down. But if you don't feel safe, your armor doesn't go down.
It's interesting when you talk about busyness and moving quickly, because that can also be when you're talking about protecting yourself and not allowing in. If you are continuously busy, then you, not you in particular, but as a society as a whole, we don't have to think the deep thoughts. We don't have to examine our lives, and that's a reason that we always we reach for something to fill the vacuum instantly. Give me a show to listen to watch, some sort of bubble gum for the mind to keep the mind going so that I don't have to turn inward. And so that is a part of your dropping of the shields as well, in that slowing down.
Yeah, I mean it's an intentional thing, because I can look at my life and know that whenever I've had these big transitions, I just kind of like boom, it's like hit the ground running, like I'm driving at 1,000 miles per hour. But then what happens is you don't even know where the hell you're driving to, right? You're driving to a destination that someone else has given you, like they've already programmed your map. It's to productivity town, or whatever it may be, productivity town, you know
Dun, 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 dun,
yeah,
dun.
tried
Productivity
out
town.
sorority town, whatever it is. It's like you're all of a sudden like you're, right, we're bright colors town. You have you're going down fast and furious without really going like, really, where do I want to go? And because this is such a big, this time around, I thought, well, I'm going through a transition. How can I do this entirely differently? How can I actually take a break and slow down to see those parts that, I mean, I started journaling and started typing this thing on my shadow sides, and it was hilarious, terrifying, and funny. I mean, and ridiculous. It was just all of those things. And I was like, wow, it's just so interesting. And if I hadn't had the time, made the time to like write through all those things, I wouldn't have even seen that so much of what I've worked on has gotten better, but it's still operative right now. And so before I launch into the next thing, like do some fortification of the foundation before I like try to build more crap on top, add like 3 bedroom suite, like I don't even
Foundation.
have the basement figured
Foundation.
out.
Yes.
Exactly. So that's been actually pretty joyful and fun to do. So it's been interesting.
Yay.
Yay.
So there are two things I want to make sure we cover
Yes.
before
Oh,
we
yes.
wrap up today. So one of them is MP3 players and music,
Oh,
and
yeah. Sorry.
we've been making lots of great. We've figured out the alchemy, making lots of great brain entrainment music that we're going to be releasing shortly,
Yay.
and we've actually just released to our Inspire Nation Backstage Pass members on our patron page. I'll talk about that more in a minute. So we're starting to get that music out. We came up with, or the idea came to us, a revelation of a cool thing to gift. I guess you can call it a cool gift for people to buy for the holidays. Last year we offered people
Little stick.
a yeah, the jump drive of all the shows. This year what we're going to do is we're going to load it up into in a little MP3 player, so people can order the MP3 player, give it to their friend, give it to their family member, loaded. They don't have to download anything. They don't have to take it and drag it from the computer onto a
That's a
device.
brilliant
Just put your
idea.
headphones in your ears, and you've got all of the shows
That's
right there.
great.
And so we've got the MP3 players coming in today because we want to test and see what's the best one, what's going to be the easiest for people. And then we're going to load up. We'll have like a 16 gig. We'll put 300 shows or 350 shows. The 32 gig will have over 700 shows on these things. And you just
Wow,
give
Michael.
it to someone, and boom, they could be listening to Inspire Nation right then and there.
That's fantastic.
So that's been a fun little
Woohoo!
project of ours.
Yes.
And then we at this point, it takes four people to run the show, and really we need it to be five or six people to run the show. Has been I try not to be in the busyness, and so I'm talking with you about slowing down, and I do everything I can, and yet there is a lot of work that goes into this. And so what we're asking people at this point is to donate to help keep the show going and to help the show go strong. And we came up with a really simple way to do it. So
Mm-hmm.
we came up with a simple, you just go to the website, you click on the donate button. It's $7 a month. You become an Inspire Nation Backstage Pass member.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're doing is Jessica and I are making a video a week, like our interviews, very informal. This is where she's finding her voice. Oh, wow, she's a Scorpio. It is. It's exciting because she doesn't feel like she's piping it out to hundreds of thousands of people. It's just to our most immediate, intimate supporters. And so
Oh,
guards are down, and she can totally be herself. And so we talk for half an hour a week. What are the different shows? What have we loved? What have we learned? What's going on in our lives? So we have these backstage pass, real intimate videos with us. We're having additional clips from guests. We're putting up the music on there, and we're having a bi-weekly. It might even turn into a weekly raffle because we get extra books from our guests,
oh, fun.
and so we're passing on those books now to our audience, and we're going to have all sorts of other stuff that's locked. It's only you pay $7 a month. It's a quarter a day, and if you listen to the show a lot, it's actually, if you binge watch, it's more like a penny per show that you're paying.
Right.
But it gives you all this access to us, and you can send in your question, and we answer the questions for people as well. And it does wonders for help keeping the show going and gives us the ability to get the help that we need so that we can get out like short clips on YouTube and get out information that people want and have more interaction with people. So it's through this backbone thing called Patreon. We discussed Patreon a couple of years ago. We didn't know what to do with it at the time. Now we figured that out and figured out
Cool.
an easy way. $7 a month. Come support us.
What's your goal? How many do you want to sign up?
So we want to sign up enough that we can be fully self-sustaining without having to run ourselves ragged, and to be able to do that with getting another couple people on board for the show. So we're talking a significant amount of income, but that will allow us, for instance, Jessica is up to the middle of the night every night loading her videos.
Hmm.
We want to have a family. Does she really need to be putting in that amount of hours? It's a labor of love, but after 2 years, we should be able to get somebody on board to do that work
Right.
for us
Right.
and to be able to help us with social media, and for us to be able to, we turn out so much content. but we can do the content creation side without us all also having to do the edit, the upload, the each step. I count it through the steps. So we reach out to guests. So you have reaching out to guests, you have coordinating with guests, you have the getting things in for guests, you have the researching, of course, you have the doing the interview, you have the edit the interview, you have the work that it takes before you can upload the interview, you have the upload the interview, you have any correspondence that takes place. That's not including, of course, researching, because when it's this number of guests, you need to determine who do you want on the show, where are they going to come from, all of these pieces, and that's only the audio side.
Right.
We haven't talked about the video side, which that's also editing and all of these different steps, cutting up, uploading. The whole alchemy of YouTube
Right.
takes time. I only say these things because support can go a long way to helping us get the team on board, because Jessica wants kids now. I want kids now. Forget Jessica. Not
Right.
meaning I don't love her, but this is me too.
Right.
It's kids time, baby. And to do that, you can't be working 70, 80 hours a week,
Yeah.
even if it's a labor of love.
Right.
You just can't be. And so we want to make this a truly self sustaining model. And it's a very simple way. If a fractional amount of people will give just $7 a month, we're there. Super simple. And we can turn out, I believe, even higher quality of product. Well, first off, we'll have the team on board to help us do that. We're not being pulled in those thousand directions. I would like to take more time to dive deep. That'll help me get out the books as well. And we have had this dream since the day Jessica and I got together, which is to learn indigenous wisdom from around the world, to go
Mm.
travel. That's why we ended up living in Taos, near the Taos Pueblo. That's why we ended up living on Maui and meeting the aunties and uncles that are there. So we want to learn this and bring this back to others. We can only do that, bringing it back to your theme, if we have the ability to slow down.
Mm.
And that requires more of a sustainable model where we're not trading hours for dollars, but more access to the content, to bonus content. We're giving
Right.
everything away that we can free,
Right. Yeah.
but that model will allow us to do that. And so I'm real excited. We only announced it, first announced it, I guess, about 10 days ago. We're already well underway. We've had the
Yeah.
first giveaway that took
So you just
yesterday.
go to
We're
inspirenation.com.
go to inspirenationshow.com and click the donate button right there. That takes you to the patron page. You click the become a patron button and you can join at $7 a month. You get the backstage pass. You can join at $20 a month and you become a part of the Inspire Nation family. You get even more access to us there. Or you can just choose any dollar amount you want. And if it's below seven, that's great. You don't quite get access to the backstage pass, but it still helps support the show. We're very thankful. Or any dollar amount over seven that you want. You can't go too high in supporting us.
Right. Well, that sounds like a beautiful holiday gift
Yeah,
in both directions, right?
sharing
Yeah.
the love.
Yes.
Woo-hoo!
Love it.
I get embarrassed talking about this, but 2 years in, and so there's some more wiring for me to look at. We had an amazing guest. I know we got to wrap things up. We had an amazing guest, Steve, earlier this week, talking about how to overcome suffering and transform. And he is the rabbi behind the Wilshire Boulevard temple in just outside Hollywood,
Hmm.
and one of the largest temples in the country. Is considered a very influential rabbi. But we were talking about helping people overcome suffering.
Hmm.
And he said, and he came back to it multiple times throughout the interview, and it's what he left with as well. If you're suffering, if you're struggling, if you're challenged, the single most important thing that you can do is ask for help.
Hmm.
Be humble and willing to accept help. Drop the shields and ask for help. Ask, ask, ask. And so we're asking for support. I'm doing it without embarrassment and
Yeah.
without saying, because my God, what we have offered for people.
Yeah.
And I think actually, if we all are willing, and I faced this with several coaching clients lately who have been working on making big leaps and big moves, and they need a bridge to help them jump across. And that bridge is asking for help. And so we've both you and I have heard, I don't want to bother that person by asking them. I don't want to trouble them, whatever it is. Oftentimes, if you ask for help, if you're not being needy and clingy, there's a big difference. But if you ask for help, people are honored to help because if they are really your friend, they're always looking for a way that they can give back to you.
Right. Absolutely.
So
Woohoo!
thank you for taking care of that awkward pause there, CJ. Woohoo! InspireNationShow.com. Become a
Yeah.
Backstage Pass member. Thank you. And thank you for your love and support, everyone. And thank you for your love and support, CJ. This has been a phenomenal ride, hasn't it?
It really has. And what is that the celebration behind you?
Yes, that is the celebration behind us. It's a celebration of intention, a celebration of freedom, a celebration of everything that's coming our way. We haven't gotten to talk too much about intention today, but if you can put yourself in that celebratory place, as I was telling a coaching client earlier, if you can feel your feet in the waters at the beach where you want to live, you naturally get into that place of celebration. When you're in that place of celebration, you don't have to concentrate on the goal. You don't have to focus on the goal. You don't have to mantra about the goal. You are intending and bringing about that goal
Right.
just by getting into that place. That's
Right.
the woohoo
Right.
moment.
Actually, you got to feel it. You have to think it. You have to visualize it, and then you're training the synapses in your brain to be like think it's already there, and before you know it, you will be there. That's the whole Joe Dispenza model.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you next time about the three Ds, but we won't
Okay.
go there
Three
today. But that
Ds.
the
Three
three
Ds,
Ds.
and we have to talk about Colorado for crying out loud.
All right, we will get there both metaphorically and quite literally. We will get there, and we even know when we will get there
Oh,
as
wow.
part of our intention strategy.
Love it.
All right, we good?
We are good.
All right, I got to go pick up a Jeep. For everyone out there, this is Michael Sandler and
CJ Lou for the Fire It Up with CJ show.
saying, be well, have fun, slow down, break or bend a few rules, and celebrate that future.
Yes.
Fit that all together. And come support the show
Yes.
and shine bright.
Woo!
Woohoo!
It means so much to me that you're listening to the show and would love your support in any way by giving me comments below or to subscribe to the show or share the show with friends. Thank you again for your support. Love and blessings.